What's that mean, bundling? The bundles are different bundles of different denominations. This bundle is the big bundle of the Baptists who always rejected the Holy Spirit and say that God doesn't speak today. And this big bundle is another bundle of a different group of lukewarm people. Okay, so they're bundled up together and they're thrown into the fire. So the other verse that God gave me was Matthew 25, the parable of the 10 virgins. Okay, so I'm going to start at midnight. Matthew 25, verse 6. At midnight. Now, midnight is something to do with the doomsday clock, something to do with that Armageddon event, World War III, the hour of God's judgment, the hour that Babylon the Great falls, the sixth seal, the hour that the beast and the government and regime of the Antichrist comes to power from Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And so in 1 hour, there's coming a nuclear war that's going to last 1 hour. Okay? And that's the midnight, that's the doomsday clock hits midnight. And we start and we pick that up right here, Revelation chapter 25, verse 6. World War III just happened. World War III, full-scale, worldwide thermonuclear war just happened, and we pick up at Matthew chapter 25, verse 6. At midnight, the cry rang out. Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him. So, when World War III happens, that is your cry at midnight that wakes everybody up. So, I'm going to go back to verse 5. Matthew 25, verse 5. The bridegroom was a long time in coming. All these people who are saying the rapture is going to happen, the rapture is going to happen. Nope. He's going to be a long time in coming, in the midst of the hardships. And look what it says. They all became drowsy and fell asleep. The wise and the foolish became drowsy and fell asleep. The weeds among the wheat were all growing up together, and the grapes were there in the grapevine, developing. They're not part of the vine. Jesus is the vine. We who serve God are the branches. But the grapes are only there for a season, and they're harvested and thrown into the winepress of God's wrath. Okay, but look what happens. So they all became drowsy and fell asleep. And at midnight, boom, World War III happens. They all wake up. And the sign in the sky of the coming of the Son of Man is the sky rolled up like a scroll. So Revelation chapter 6 verse, I think it's 13, where the sky's rolled up like a scroll, is the same event as Matthew chapter 24 verse, I think it's 30 or 31, where the sign in the sky of the coming of the Son of Man is seen. Well, if you take those two verses and put them into context, you'll find out that just before the sign in the sky of the coming of the Son of Man, the stars fall from the sky. In Matthew 24. And just before the sky is rolled up like a scroll, in Revelation chapter 6, the stars fall from the sky. So it's the same event. There's not two events where there's going to be a bunch of stars falling from the sky. There's one event where the stars fall from the sky, and the sky is rolled up like a scroll, and the sign in the sky of the coming of the... It's not the coming of the Son of Man. It's the sign in the sky of the coming of the Son of Man. And that's what it means here. In 25 verse 6, it says, here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him. In other words, here he comes, get ready. Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. So World War III just happened, and everybody suddenly gets all spiritual. Even people who go to church once a year are going to be in prayer that day. The Bible, even Revelation chapter 6, the sixth seal, after the stars fall from the sky, and right while the sky is being rolled up like a scroll, everybody's hiding in the dens of the rocks. Revelation chapter 6 verse, I think it's 17, hiding in the dens of the rocks and the caves of the mountains, calling out to God. The rich, the generals, the mighty, everyone.